So I just went and got a haircut. I'm feeling good about it. I'm glad I finally got a haircut. Felt like it was growing way too long. And when I was in San Francisco, it was $65 for a haircut. So I figured Chicago would be a little bit cheaper. I searched around. There were some places that looked like it was $80 for a haircut, but ended up finding a place that was $40 for a haircut. And this guy had such a deep voice, and he's like Russian. It's like his voice resonated throughout the room.
Are you making your voice deeper?
No, I'm not.
He just did it again.
This is my voice.
Apparently he does haircuts for a lot of like very famous people throughout time and stuff too, so that was really cool. And he's been living in Chicago for like 30 years, so he gave me a good rundown about the city. Anyway, he seemed like a pretty intelligent dude. I'm glad I got the haircut. Also, you can see that I'm here with a bottle of whiskey. I walked into a mall here. I didn't even know it was a mall. I just walked in and it was like 4 or 5 stories high, just directly straight up, rather than like being like a very spread out. So it's very high up, and then each time you went up an escalator, there was like different stores around it. Anyway, there was one spirit store and had a bunch of different whiskeys all around. So I was like, why not go in and check it out for a second? Anyway, the guy really was pushing on sales, and man, sometimes I just get pushed into buying stuff. So this is the most expensive bottle of whiskey I have ever bought, and I really didn't mean to purchase it, but I did. So if you're a whiskey connoisseur, maybe you understand this a little bit more. I am not, so I'm a little bit less familiar. But this is 2-bitch bourbon, as you can see. 2-bitch, but it's 2 dogs bourbon whiskey, and this is a single batch. Or I guess it's a small batch with a bite. So there's different whiskeys or bourbons you might think about, like Jack Daniel's. It's a mash, which means they take all of the different barrels of whiskey and then put it together, so you get that really consistent flavor. So every bottle of Jack Daniel's you pick up, it's going to taste relatively the same. It should taste exactly the same. That's really what they're going for. So when you have a small batch, it's made in those specific barrels, and it's not mixed with a bunch of other or all the other batches. So it's a very unique flavor that you only get out of that small batch. So apparently this small batch was made to taste a little bit like vanilla and cinnamon and oak, and it's supposed to have a really good flavor. He was selling me on all this stuff, and I got to try a little baby sip of it, and I was like, okay, this is good. So I went around the store and I tried a couple other things, and nothing compared to this. And I was like, well, that says a lot about it. So I can understand, I guess, why it's expensive. And he's like, oh yeah, and then people really into the bottles that have numbers in it. Do you have a specific number you wanted? If you can see what number this is, 1338. What number do you think I was excited about? I was excited about 1337. I wanted that number. And if you're into gaming, you probably understand what that number is. And then if you're not, I guess you're gonna have to find out some other time, because I'm not gonna say it here. But because it didn't have 1337 on here, he did write it on the side right here, 1337. He also wrote happy birthday, because I'm in Chicago right now because my birthday, and my birthday's a few days away. Oh yeah, Chicago 2022. I did get the number that I wanted, 1337, and I got Chicago here, and my happy birthday. I don't think I'll keep this bottle just because I'm traveling. I don't really have a lot of room for it. I figured it'd be a good time to try it with you. It's 100 proof, 50% alcohol by volume. So I'm gonna go ahead and open this. What's the best way to do it? Like this. That's why you gotta have some nails, at least just a little bit of nail, so you can open up these bottles. That smells so good. Okay, smells really good. Well, I know some of you that are really into connoisseurs will be upset at the next thing that I do, but I don't have any cups here. So I am going to use this coffee cup. I'm gonna go pour this out in the sink and rinse this cup out a couple times, and then we'll use this cup. So I did go ahead and rinse this cup out, and I kind of feel like I'm doing ASMR. I have these 2 microphones right here. So if you have a headset on, I wonder if these come in different ears. And if that did, that's kind of cool. And if it didn't, it's probably because there's just one source going into the camera at the same time. If you were a connoisseur, you might be upset at me because it still kind of smells like coffee, but I love coffee, so who cares? I just need a cup to drink this whiskey. Man, that smells so good. If I'd say what it smells like, I probably never smelled a whiskey this good. Maybe I have and just forgot about it. Very light, almost like a sweet smell. Yeah, it's like kissing the tip of my nose with the sweet scent of whiskey heaven. The perfectly shaped Starbucks cup for drinking your whiskey. Hey Starbucks, I hope you don't mind. I'm drinking alcohol out of your cup. I mean, it's awesome. What I would say is still the burn in there because it's a high alcohol percentage, but less of a burn than I've had in other whiskeys. Less of a throat burn. I can feel a little bit of a tingle there, but some whiskeys are really harsh and leave a very, like a hard stinging, like feeling in the back of your throat that just lingers there. This one doesn't really linger, or at least just in a little sense. And the whole experience felt very smooth. Okay, it's a really good whiskey. Like when you drink, let's just say you drink Jack Daniel's straight, which you probably wouldn't do. There's gonna be so much burn in there and bite, and really just you're gonna feel the strength of the alcohol without fully tasting a lot of it. Like when I drink Jack Daniel's, I'm gonna have a Jack and Coke. That's what my grandpa did. That's what our family ended up doing, and that's what I ended up doing, Jack and Cokes. And I know that people that are connoisseurs of whiskey really like to drink it by itself. A lot of people drink it straight or over the rocks. I think the connoisseurs like to drink it straight, fully, because that's the coolest way to drink it, where you can really taste the most of it. But I don't know any of that stuff. All I'll say is I probably would have put ice in here if I had ice cubes at this place. I would like this cold. I like drinking my beverages cold. The way I like having coffee? Iced. I like all my beverages iced. I want my wine cold. I want everything cold. Look, I'm a southern boy I'm from the swamps of Louisiana, from a year old town called New Orleans. And it's hot down there and we like our drinks cold. You want a cold beer on a warm hot day where you're sweating? Well, you got a case of swamp ass, clear it up with the ice cold beer. Yeah, I mean, it's really good. I absolutely never drink whiskey straight without any ice or anything, and this is very good by itself. Okay. I can understand why people spend a decent amount of money to buy good alcohol, because it tastes good and it's enjoyable. This bottle, with tax included, was $120. Now, in my head, when I think about going out to a place and getting drinks, I would say if I got an old fashioned or a shot of something like this at a place, probably even less quality than this. Like if it was Maker's Mark or something like that, I'm thinking anywhere from $12 to $18 easily. Okay, so that's very easy to spend that amount on just one drink. Now let's just say it's $10. Let's take out the equation of tip or anything. If I drink 10 old fashions, that would be $100. Okay, you're definitely gonna tip on there. You're at least gonna tip like $1 or $2. Let's just say you do $2. Okay, so you're at $12 a piece. You get 10 of those. That's $120 for 10. Now this bottle, definitely you're gonna get more than 10, and you're having a much higher quality of beverage as well. Is this worth it? Yes. If you are at home and you like to drink your occasional beverage, not only is it easy to have nearby, but you're saving money. Yeah, you're also saving money over going out to a place where you're paying a lot more. So increased quality and saving money. That's what it comes down to. You could really save a lot of money by not drinking at all, but sometimes you just want to drink. It's like the same kind of concept of McDonald's or fast food. You shouldn't really be eating there every single day. But if you want it on occasion because you're in a rush and you need something fast, get some fast food. Or if you just so happen to be craving a Big Mac and you haven't had one in a long time, you're thinking about that Thousand Island type of Big Mac sauce, and you really want that, well, go get it. You can occasionally have something like that. You don't have to stay away from it forever. I mean, there's gonna be a lot of people that are like, no way, you can't eat stuff like that. But like, indulge yourself. You can indulge yourself every once in a while. Don't do it all the time. Unfortunately, with this bottle, I'll have to indulge myself a little bit quickly because I can't be traveling with liquids while I continue to travel around. So this birthday weekend, this bottle will have to go away. It'll have to disappear one way or another, which means it's either being ingested or, it's being ingested, period. But it's either being ingested by me or it's being ingested by others. And that can either happen during this weekend or after, right? I'll hand it to someone if I don't finish this by the time the weekend's over. I've been thinking about this a little bit. I filmed another video before this one about not drinking for a while and then experimenting with drinking and how getting drunk and the effects make me feel the next day. And those effects can kind of carry on over multiple days and be negative. They can be detrimental to the other functions that you want to do. It can also be detrimental to your success. I think anything in overconsumption can be detrimental to your success or happiness in life. Also, I think restricting yourself to a certain extent can also do the same thing. Causing you to constrict yourself in your beliefs and not allowing yourself to indulge in things that you possibly would want to. What comes to mind is I think some people are so restrictive on diet that they don't really allow themselves to eat good food. There's two ends of that, right? So there's some people that don't really restrict their food at all, and maybe they start having health problems because of that. And then there's other people that restrict a lot, and maybe they look great and talk about feeling great, but there still might be a desire to try some of those foods, and they just don't allow themselves to. And when I say try it, maybe they want to have a meal of it, but they're just like, no, this is the way it needs to be done. I need to stay healthy. This has got to be the... But if they're thinking that way and being restrictive about that, are they feeling restrictive about many areas of their life and trying to be so restrictive on different areas to not let certain things in so that they can function in a way that they deem is appropriate, which is fine. By all measures, anyone can have whatever they deem is appropriate as their type of lifestyle, but are they restricting themselves? I say this because I think I was there at a certain point of life, and I know that indulging occasionally is enjoyable, but indulging too much is not a healthy thing. We're not made to indulge all the time. I mean, there's a lot of people that have a lot of health issues because they indulge too much. So where is the balance between indulging too much and enjoying? I think this video was probably long enough and just a random rant for me about indulgence, because I'm indulging and probably trying to convince myself that it's okay to indulge, because it is. It's totally fine to indulge, and I don't overindulge. I allow myself to enjoy things in life, and usually when I'm trying to restrict myself too much is when I start becoming a little unhappy. When I can have a little bit of the things that I like to do, while also restricting myself from a little bit of those things as well, I do find a good amount of happiness and balance in it. When I become too restrictive, personally for me, when I become too restrictive in things in my life or desires, then I become unhappy. Now, Naval Ravikant also said something about when you desire something, it's actually creating a state of suffering. So if you're really wanting something in life and really desiring it a lot, it's going to actually create suffering in your life. I would agree to that. Like, if you really, really want something and you just keep thinking about it, like you're craving that burger from McDonald's and you just keep thinking about it, then you're going to suffer from that thought of it. I think Naval also talks about go and take a cold shower, for example, and he's like, if you think about that shower, you're going to suffer in the thoughts about getting in the shower. It's a cold shower, you're going to suffer in the thoughts, you're going to think it's cold, and again there you're going to think it's cold. He's like, just don't think it's cold. And I've actually been trying that. I've been trying it while I've been walking out in Chicago and it's cold, and I took a cold shower this morning and thought about how, it's not cold. I'm just not even going to think about it. And you can get over it. And I can imagine that if you kept doing it constantly, you get over it. And that's how you start building discipline to a lot of things, and then just also not needing things, like not needing a hot shower, which I like hot showers. As long as I can have them, I'm probably still going to do it. And as long as I can enjoy in things every once in a while, I'm probably still going to do it. Though while I'm doing that, I'm trying to build up my disciplines. I'm working on growing a company. I'm working on growing a team. I am working on growing this channel at the same time. I'm working on a lot of different fronts, and at that same time, I want to enjoy it. So I'm not gonna, eat the absolute most clean diet ever, take the most cold showers, get up and run for 3 hours every single morning, cram in meetings. I'm probably not gonna do that. It's probably not for me. Well, the camera's about to die because I've just been sitting here drinking this glass of whiskey for a decently long time. So I just want to thank you for coming hang out for a little bit. I'll take this last sip and I'll let you go. You want to chat about whiskeys? You want to chat about indulging yourself? Feel free to leave a comment. Otherwise, awesome hanging out, and I'll see you next time.